네, 장성입니다. 저는 지금 맨체스터에 나와 있고 영국으로 대학원 온다 라고 했을 때 가장 선호되는 파운데이션, 프리마스터 그리고 뭐 인터내셔널 이어. I'm not asking you about the requirements.
Okay, so we have these two different pathways. One of them is the University of Manchester pathway. If you're on that one, you will know because there's purple everywhere. So if you see purple anywhere on the offer letter, you're on the University of Manchester pathway. This one guarantees you an offer, a conditional offer from the University of Manchester, or a conditional interview. So some subjects require an interview. For example, pharmacy requires an interview, a couple of others as well. You will also receive an invitation to an exclusive welcome party just for University of Manchester pathway students. You would also have access to the main university library at the University of Manchester, which is the largest single-site university library in the UK. So it's a great benefit of being on this pathway. So that's the purple pathway or the University of Manchester pathway. The other one we have is this one, which is called the NCUK pathway, or sometimes we just call it the Into Manchester pathway. You'll know you're on this one, but red and white is the colour code for this pathway. So this means you will be guaranteed an offer from one of these 16 universities, but it's not guaranteed which one you'll be able to progress to or which one you'll receive an offer from. As you can see, University of Manchester is still on there, so you can still get there, but they will not prioritise you. There's no reason why they will give you a conditional offer. So on this pathway, they are guaranteed the offer. Students on this pathway are not guaranteed the offer. So for example, if a course closes early at the University of Manchester, it may reopen for students who are on this course later in the year, but it won't reopen for students who are on this pathway. It's usually better to be on the purple pathway. But it is still possible to get to the University of Manchester. We have had lots and lots of students every year progress successfully to the University of Manchester. This is a great option, perhaps if you don't meet the entry requirements for this one. Or Yeah, so NCUK is a great organisation. They've been established for about 30 years. They were founded by universities, including the University of Manchester, is one of the founding universities. So you can study the NCUK programmes in Korea. There are NCUK centres there. And our centre is like an NCUK centre in the UK, in Manchester. And the benefits of that are firstly that you will be able to adapt to life in the UK. So you'll have an additional year of listening to native English speakers, understanding the way of life here in the UK, just having more exposure to life in the UK, so that when you start university, you won't be so shocked, you won't have so much culture shock. You'll be able to start your studies quickly and efficiently and be able to get on with your studies very easily. So you have the benefit of that. You also have the benefit of being in Manchester, which is one of the world's best student cities, and in the UK it has a great reputation for being very student friendly, very reasonable cost of living as well. So you'll have the benefits of leaving home for the first time, perhaps when you're quite young, 17, 18, 19. It's also a really fun city to live in. There are lots of Korean restaurants here, so you won't be too homesick, but also it's a very diverse and culturally accepting city, so it's a great place to come and do your foundation studies and understand what life in the UK is like. You will have the ability, while you're studying into Manchester, to visit these campuses. They're just a 10-minute walk down the road, just a straight line from the Into Manchester Centre. So you will be able to visit both campuses. You will be able to interact with teachers, lecturers and students from both universities. So you will have greater exposure to university life while you're here in the UK. Okay, so we have multiple different intakes into Manchester. You can start in September or in January. So the September intake runs from around September, mid-September until around mid-June. The January intake is January to around mid-August. So you actually study the same content within both of those intakes. There's no difference really in terms of the academic study that you'll have. But for example, if your high school results don't come out until later in the autumn and you've missed the September intake, you don't have to delay your studies by 1 year by waiting until the next September. You can just take a couple of months to relax or go on holiday, whatever, and then start in January so that you don't have to waste any time, and you'll still be able to progress to university the following September. So you'll be studying the same content, it will just be in a different time frame. So there's no wasted time at all. Now, for some courses, particularly at the Russell Group universities and University of Manchester, some courses are very, very popular, very competitive, so they close in January. But that's okay, because we have a placements team who will advise you of the correct application procedure, and because we have this special relationship with the University of Manchester, even for our January intake for the University of Manchester, if a course like computer science, for example, closes early in January, they will reopen it for us later on for our January intake students, so that they can change some of the deadlines for our students. There are other courses like pharmacy, for example, which have done that in the past. So that's all because we have this very strong relationship with the University of Manchester.
Cool.